Hello and welcome to Football Heaven 24/7. It is episode 8. This is Monday, the 21st of March 2022. Basically, I'm going to do a review of the weekend's football. There wasn't much going on in the Premier League this weekend because of the FA Cup. There was 4 games, but I'll go through each game. The, the craziest game of the weekend was between Wolves and Leeds. Leeds were 2-0 down at half time. They looked dead and buried. They looked like everything was going to go against them. Then their striker Raul Jimenez went through on goal with the Leeds goalkeeper, and he got sent off for what was believed to be a high boot. When he was sent off, the game started to change, and literally within about 8 minutes, Leeds got a goal back, and within a spell of about another 20 odd minutes, Leeds found themselves in control, and they went from 2-0 down to winning 3-2, which was vital to them staying into the Premier League. They're now 7 points clear of the drop, but there's teams that are behind them with games in hand, um, such as Burnley and Everton, who have 3 games in hand on Leeds United. So there's still a chance for Burnley. Norwich are pretty much dead and buried. There's a chance for Burnley and Watford, but it's a fight now between Burnley, Watford, Everton, Leeds, and possibly Brentford if they lose a few. But I would say Brentford will be out of that. So there was that game, and then there was an early kickoff on Saturday. Aston Villa against Arsenal. Arsenal won narrowly through Bakayoko Saka, or whatever his name is. I sound like Paul Merson on getting the names wrong. But basically, he scored and Arsenal won 1-0. Then Leicester City against Brentford on Sunday, which was a 2 o'clock kickoff. Leicester City won 2-1. And then there was the London derby between Tottenham and West Ham, and Tottenham came out victorious in that, thanks to an own goal by Zuma, the cat kicker, and Son. Heung-min Son scored 2 goals, but there was a chance where it looked like West Ham might have a chance when Benrahma got a goal back when they were 2-0 down to make it 2-1, but Tottenham took control in the second half, and West Ham didn't take any of their chances and ended up losing 3-1. So that really that pushed Tottenham above Manchester United into fifth, and then made it pretty much a straight shootout now between Arsenal and Tottenham for that fourth place, I would say. Um, Arsenal have got 1 game in hand on Spurs, but there's only 3 points separating both of them from getting that fourth place. So it's getting very, very tight in the Premier League. But the fight for the title is obviously still between Manchester City and Liverpool, who both played FA Cup games this weekend. Manchester City were in action at Southampton and they won 4-1. And then Liverpool just narrowly beat Nottingham Forest 1-0 thanks to an offside goal by Diogo Jota. It was definitely offside. The pictures in the papers show that it was offside. But as we know, when a big team comes to town, very often decisions get put in their favour, even with VAR. So anyway, I'm not that bitter. I just, obviously, my heart's a bit with Forest because I've watched him a bit when I was a kid and supported him a bit along with Scunthorpe. Um, but there was a bit of injustice there, and Ryan Yates, I think it was a penalty when he went through on goal, but he maybe should have rounded him and scored, but who knows? So a bit disappointing. Anyway, I'm gonna jump into there was a one more game, 2 more games even, and that was the quarterfinals. So Liverpool, like I say, beat Forest. That Forest 1-0. Manchester City won 4-1 at Southampton. Crystal Palace absolutely smashed relegation threatened Everton in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup 4-0, thanks to goals from Gehi, Mateta, Zaha, and Hughes. And Chelsea on Saturday evening game in the quarterfinals away at Middlesbrough, they won 2-0 thanks to goals from Lukaku and Ziyech. So in the semi-finals, it's going to be Crystal Palace against Chelsea, and then Manchester City against Liverpool. And Manchester City and Liverpool, they've got to play each other in that semi-final at Wembley for the FA Cup on the 16th, but 6 days before that could be a title deciding game, the game when Manchester City play Liverpool at the Etihad. So that's going to be an exciting game to watch, and that's on Sky Sports. But anyway, I'm going to slip down into the lower leagues now. On the Saturday, they were doing £5 to get in at Cheltenham versus Burton Albion, both teams down the bottom half of League One. Charlton won the game 2-0, and they've got great fans there. They were very friendly when I was there. There was only about 11,500 there, so it wasn't great attendance considering the ground's about a 30,000 capacity. But as I say, the fans were great. The first goal by Connor Washington was fantastic. The ball was played over the top. He was about 20 odd yards out, just outside the box. He beat the keeper to it and just sort of lobbed it to the side of him with on the half volley, it was a beautiful goal. And then the second goal was a deflection off a defender, and it trickled into the bottom left-hand corner now from just inside the box. And they won that 2-0. So, but I'm going to go into the Championship. And there was a few, I don't know if there was a few shocks really. There was a few, there was only one shock really in the Championship, I would say, one major shock. Bristol City drew 2-2 with West Bromwich Albion. Derby drew 1-1 in their relegation game against Coventry. Derby are now bottom of the table thanks to Peterborough getting a shock result on Sunday on the 12:30 kickoff. They were 1-0 down to QPR after 9 minutes, but then they got a goal back just before half-time through Johnson Clark-Harris, and in the second half they got 2 goals within a minute, one from a penalty from Johnson Clark-Harris again, and one from Jack Marriott, and that was the biggest shock of the weekend in the Championship, as Peterborough were down the bottom now they're just off the bottom. There's still a chance for Barnsley and Peterborough down the bottom of the Championship in the relegation zone, but Hull and Reading have kind of pulled away. But even though Hull lost 3-1 at home to Luton, who are now third, they lost 3-1 to Luton. And Reading had a good win against Blackburn, 1-0. That's sort of taken the pressure off. I think Barnsley are the closest to Reading. They're only 5 points off. And then it's Peterborough with 26 points and Derby with 25. But I would personally say that Barnsley have only got a chance to catch Reading to get out of the relegation zone. I think even though Peterborough had a great win against QPR, I just can't see them doing it in the last 8 games doing enough to stay up. I think Barnsley have got the team and the players. They've already shown through results over the last month or so what they able to do. They only lost 2-0 to Sheffield United, and to be honest, Sheffield United on a great run. Because of that run, they've ended up in the playoff spots now. At the top of the table, it's Fulham, who are in first still. You've got on 77 points. Then it's Bournemouth with 69 points. Then Luton with 63 in the playoffs. Huddersfield in the playoffs with 63. Sheffield United with 61. Blackburn with 61. And just outside the playoffs is Middlesbrough with 59 points, and Queen's Park Rangers with 59, and Forest with 58. But if you go as low as even, say, like 10th or 11th in the Championship, there's still a chance for those teams to catch up. I would say from 9th actually upwards, from like Millwall and Forest, who are occupying 8th and 9th places. So, 9th and 10th places even. So it's very interesting. Forest weren't playing because obviously they played Liverpool in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So they've got a couple of games in hand over some of the teams that are in the playoffs at the moment. So they might have a chance to just sneak in there. They've been playing great football. But I'll run down some of the other results that I've not mentioned already in the Championship. Huddersfield, they are in the playoffs, as I say, but they lost to second place Bournemouth 3-0. Bournemouth had a really good win, and that was a crucial win really for them because they needed to prove their worth really, and they did do winning 3-0. Then looking into the other results, Stoke City beat Millwall 2-0 at home. Swansea drew 0-0 with Birmingham, and that's all the results for the Championship. Going into the lower leagues, there was a few shocks. Rotherham lost 3-0 at home to Shrewsbury, and that was quite shocking, but Rotherham are still top. Wigan are in second. Playoffs are MK Dons, Plymouth, Oxford and Sunderland. Going into League Two, you've got Forest Green, Exeter, and Northampton in the promotion spots, and then Bristol Rovers, Tranmere, Newport, and Swindon in the playoffs. Anyway, that's the end of the first part of Football Heaven 24/7. I'll be recording the next part later on and putting that up within a couple of hours. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe and pass it on to all your friends. Have a great week. Bye.